friends say it's a great road, you gotta try it. But you don't really know the road yet. So now you're following the cars just ahead. And honestly, that doesn't seem like a problem. It definitely seems easier than leading. But is it safer? Well, maybe. Today we're gonna do some following, and then for the first time, we'll take the lead on this road. There's a lot that can go wrong when following. You can get in over your head real quick if you aren't careful. If you're new here, we're on a search for the best back road in America. Today we're in North Carolina driving NC209, the Rattler. At the end of the drive, we'll see where it ranks on our list of the best back roads. There's a weird thing that happens when you follow on a road like this. I'm watching and listening to both cars ahead, looking at their brake points and listening for the sound of their downshifts. But on a super technical road like this, sometimes both cars disappear from view. And for a second, I'm in the lead. And see there, like that. And then once I'm around the corner again, I'm following. Kind of throws me off. Man, that's a bad heave there. That could be really bad for a motorcycle. We do have radios, which is good. Because a few years ago, I was driving my old 911 and we hit a big bump in this road, going faster than the car appreciated it. And I know that point is coming up, so hopefully I'll get a warning from the guys.
That was the corner.
Nah, even with that warning, I still hit the bump harder than I wanted to. Things that happen in front of you can be on you before you're ready. One question to ask yourself, and you have to be honest here, do I and my car have the experience and capability to follow the car in front? Do you trust the cars ahead to make good decisions for you? Because if you stay close, you're driving their drive. There's a video I've seen, the guy's following with the camera. The car in the lead actually overcooks a corner and ends up crashing. The car that's following almost crashes into the back of him. But it's a reminder that when you're following, you're actually driving the other guy's drive. You gotta trust the car in front. It's nice to have a clear road ahead. Been staring at brake lights the whole day. This is my first time in the lead on this road, NC209, the Rattler. I've been following the whole morning, so here we go. Let's see what we can do on this. I did notice it was a little dusty when we were going the other way. Got some of the nannies stepping in there, some traction control on that one. Obviously the dust in the grid's a little worse than I thought. Yeah, a lot of times we do run into roads that are dusty. When it's dry like this, when it's been windy, or even after a storm, sometimes when there's overwash on the road, or after the water is dried and that overwash remains, the roads can really be slick. The dust seems a lot worse than earlier. I'm gonna back it off and let the guys catch up. Especially near industrial or construction areas where trucks are entering the road, or if there's been a storm, you get some overwash on the road. After that dries, there's grit and dust that stays behind, and it can get really slick, so that's something to watch out for. Especially when you're in the lead, you can just run into that, and there's not a lot of signs you're getting into it. That's another reason to leave some margin out here. NC209 following the Porsche Cayman. It's a bit wet out. Not raining, but it did earlier, so keep it dialed back. Well, I hope he will anyway. I remember this section from last year's spring trip. It was super dusty and I took a couple curves a bit too fast. I'm still working on downshifts. On that one, I blipped the throttle before the auto blip. I could hear the difference. If you have auto rev matching, keep it on and try rev matching yourself. You'll still learn. Still a little weird when following when the car head vanishes around the corner. Almost like I lost them for a moment. Or maybe it's just me being competitive and wanting to catch up. The point is, when you're following on a very twisty road, you won't always have sight of the other car. Definitely watch the car, key off their braking, but don't fixate on them. The gap can open in the corners, and then you can close it on the straights. There's a video I've seen where a guy's following his buddy on Tail of the Dragon. They're moving pretty quick, and he's really close. And just around a corner, the car he's following sees a truck and emergency brakes. When he comes around the corner, he just doesn't have time to stop. And it's just really something you've got to watch out for on a road like this. And beware of the conditions when it's wet out. Obviously, that's the time to slow it down and add margin. Close the gaps on the straights and then slow down as you enter the curve. You can see the darker damp patches, and those will be slick. But the lighter patches can be too. Like right there, where the debris and gravel washed over. It's dried, but still slick. So especially when you're following, you need to read the road. Know the conditions and leave margin for the unexpected. The car up front might be lower power, less torque, or cost half as much. But if its tires are matched for the conditions and yours aren't, or if that person has more experience than you, they still could pull away. And you have to be okay with that. That's what makes following dangerous. When you start to get frustrated, if you aren't comfortable keeping up, don't push. Remember, once you're in a corner going too fast, it's really hard to fix it. So when following, watch the car ahead, but remember you're following them. You aren't racing. If they pull away, that's fine. Better to have your pride hurt than to put it in the ditch. Watch the cars ahead, but don't follow too close. Build margin into the corners. Close on corner exit. After each drive, we give the road a score and add it to our list of the best back roads. There are 2 intense stretches of twisty turns. The 10-mile stretch south of Hot Springs is nearly unmatched, 9 of 10. The flow is excellent, but the drives and cross streets in the valleys will slow you down, 8 of 10. At 30 miles, only the straight stretches in the valleys allow you to rest, 9 of 10. We suggest a weekday or early drive to avoid traffic. With just a few pull-offs, take advantage of the passing chances in the valleys, 3 of 5. The pavement is mostly smooth, but can be narrow, with a few cracks and bumps and heaves, 3 of 5. The overall driving score is 32 points, which is tied with Way of Road, although not to the level of the Tail of the Dragon. It probably should be, 4 of 5. With 36 points overall, this road is ranked 6 on our list, just behind North Carolina 215. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment to let us know. YouTube will notice, and it really helps us out. Find a map with locations and links to all our drives on the channel. If you haven't already, subscribe and join us on our next drive as we continue our mission to find the best back road. Check the channel for a playlist with every video in our Best Backroad series. Stay safe out there, guys.